And before I go to the neutron scattering, I would like to show some highlights of the scientific research in the Canton. I think the Canton is close with Hong Kong, and I think those kind of highlights facility has great potential for the cooperation with the Hong Kong scientists. So the diabase reactor neutrino experiment is led by Institute of Energy Physics. And now the Jiangmen reactor neutrino experiment also is led by our institute under construction. And ADS at Huizhou is by the Institute of Modern Physics in the Lanzhou and the Institute of Energy Physics in the Beijing. And there is also many other facilities like the Tianhe 2 Superconducting Center at Sen Yixin University, also the Beijing Genome Institute called Huada Jin at Shenzhen. So all of them are very interesting. So first I would like to mention the diabase reactor neutrino experiment. So the diabase is the first China nuclear power station. So it's about 50 kilometers from Hong Kong. So the diabase has a special condition, unique condition, because when there is 6 reactors of the total thermal power is 17.4 gigawatts. And the most important, this is number 2 in the world. The most important is there is a very good mountain nearby. We could dig the underground laboratory to share it in the nuclear, to share it in the cosmic ray background. So in the 2012, we published the neutrino mixing angle results, the Science Theta 1.3. So this is the most precise measurement in the world, and we use the 5 sigma to confirm the existing of a certain type of neutrino interactions. So this results was listed in the breakthrough by Science magazine at 2012. Also, it received the Fundamental Discovery Prize last year. And next, so the diabase reactor neutrino experiment is the cooperation between China, US, and Russian, and other countries. So DOE made a major contribution to this experiment. So actually, it's the second largest offshore experiment for DOE particle physics experiment. So they invest $34 million to this experiment. The diabase experiment will be finished by, I think, will be in 2 years. So now we are doing the next generation at Jiangmen. So this is the Jiangmen. They also have 2 groups of nuclear reactor under construction. One is in the Taishan, another is in the Yangjiang. Total power will be about 36 gigawatts thermal power. That's the largest in the world. And we will measure the neutrino mass hierarchy. Means at the meantime, we knew the value of the mass square difference of the neutrino, but we don't know the sign. We knew the absolute value of the mass square difference, but we do not know the sign, which one is heavy. So that's one of the biggest issue for the particle physics. So now we are working with this experiment. It will use 20,000 tons liquid singlet to detect the neutrino mass hierarchy. It will taking data by 2020. Tianhe 2, I think many of you may heard about, is the #1 supercomputing center in the world. So they have 6 times in the #1 of the supercomputing in the world. So it's very impressive, and there's many users around China, also from Hong Kong. And another interesting facility nearby is the we call the Huadajin. So actually, their English name is the Beijing Genome Institute. So they are, I think they have the biggest platform to measure the genome information, and also is very impressive. Another interesting project nearby is the accelerated driving supercritical system. So, you know, the nuclear reactor is the critical system. We use the uranium-235 to keep the reactor in the critical states. If we are talking about the supercritical system, which we use accelerator to produce the additional neutron to provide, to make the supercritical system become critical. We can run in the reactor. The purpose of the system is to bomb the nuclear waste, because with the additional neutron came from the accelerator target. So the neutron is more hot, higher energy. So they can convert the long lifetime nuclear waste into the shorter lifetime. You know, the nuclear waste, long lifetime nuclear waste, is the biggest issue for the nuclear power station. So this idea actually in the already already discussed, I think, more than 15, 20 years. But it's the first time in the world we really build this facility. So this facility will be built in the Huizhou, I think also is in the Canton area. So by Institute of Modern Physics and the Institute of High Energy Physics. So it's a bigger challenge, it's a bigger issue, but it's very important for energy.